So the 50% support characters have easy aid into 60% support characters, and I have been able to use every single one of them in, different stages. I think, just a general showcase, get a good idea about how they work, seen gameplay from, just posted on Twitter and everything like that. So I have a good grasp at what these 50% characters are like. And today we're going to go ahead and rank them in a tier list here. And we're going to talk about which ones I think are the best ones, that could help influence you on how to summon for the banners as well, which could be very, very important. But I would keep in mind before we continue, if, you're going to use this as like, oh, which one should I summon for? The anniversary banners drop in about 2 weeks. And these characters are still a couple of days away. So if you're on JP right now, do not summon. I'd say for the most part, these banners will still be up a little bit like after the anniversary banners are live in game. That's how it was last year, and that's how it should be this year. So, or not last year, that's because based on when the banners would leave in the news, the anniversary banner should still be up like within like the same day. It'll be like 20 hours, right? So maybe like if we get LRB's Gohan, he's AGL, Pan could be like really good for him, right? But besides that, the most important part here is to rank these characters. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at them individually. And I guess we'll just go in line from AGL. So right here we have Rildo right here. So Hyper Meta-Rilldo again, and all these characters are the same, to be fair. The only difference between them is their links and everything like that, and what teams they're able to be on. Now, Rildo does actually have a team that he's good on. Funny enough, GT bosses, but you could potentially even run him on Terrifying Conquerors as well. I mean, there are some AGL units here in Terrifying Conquerors. There's a Vegeta Nappa, there's Golden Frieza, the other Golden Frieza you could use. You could even use this character who's like alright. Honestly, even this like free-to-play Metacooler, he has dodge built into him, right? There are like some characters you could use here for like, what's it called? Terrifying Conquerors. Even like the LRP Lab trio, like as a floater, I guess could be okay. So Super Baby 2, really good as well. I just skipped over him, but this guy is really good. So I mean, yeah, Terrifying Conquerors is actually a good team for him, but he's really actually helpful for G2 bosses. Now this is not a real team, I would say still, but you have Omega, Baby, you have this Rildo right here. Then it's like, you have plus the other Omega, 4 strong characters on the team. I would say like Omega is actually strong if GT bosses on the GT bosses team. Omega himself is good. It's a team that brings him down, but this team is okay almost there. I mean, you could run the 17s. You could put like this physical Frieza who, he's type advantage against most of the game, right? And then, there's potentially some other characters that you could run depending on the typing of the boss, right? So it's like, this team is almost there. He definitely helps this team out a lot, and I've seen people know item fusions monster with this team because Rildo is there. And again, Rildo, like all these characters, have this orb changing that'll get into a full heal, which is really nice. But the good thing about Rildo is that he does have greatly raised attack and defense for the turn. He has thirst for conquest, GT is importantly, shocking speed is good. And the thing with him on GT boss is that I feel like I find it easy for him to get his key spheres as well, because Omega is a rainbow orb changer that doesn't change a random type. He changes specifically in types, right? In key spheres to rainbow. So Omega doesn't ever change the orbs that this guy makes. And then this guy is like, making these AGL orbs, and then it's like combines together, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna able to get a ton of AGL key spheres with this guy, which is really good. That I've noticed on the GT boss team, but I feel like no other characters like leader has something like that. That's like a rainbow orb changer. I mean, maybe physical ultimate Gohan if you run him on God Goku's team, but that's really it. I think that is like looking pretty good overall, right? So I actually would say Rildo is probably one of the better 50% support units. I think I would put him in an A tier right here, right? An A tier for Hyper Meta-Rilldo. Pretty incredible easy right here. I mean, they're all good overall, but even like this right here could be useful in a lot of other stages that aren't necessarily red zone, right? Super Battle Road gives this guy like some viability with the enemy attack lower, seals or super attack, right? Who knows what other game modes this could be useful in. If you're, again, let's say the the STR Vegeta Blue fight during Worldwide. If you're struggling, this guy could really help you there. The G2 Bosses team is actually really good in that fight, and this guy only helps you even further. So, I mean, yeah. That is Rildo. So next we have AGL Pan. Now, AGL Pan, the difference for her is that she has this right here, which is, I mean, to say that this is really good is an understatement, I feel like. It's very rare for characters to get this on their super attack effect. I think we've seen a lot of characters get that in their passive, but keep in mind, since it's 30% attack and defense all lasts for 2 turns, on the passive that's better offensively, but the super attack effect, it is better defensively. And the reason for that for most characters is because this is a separate phase from everything else in the passive. So let's say you're running Pan on, I don't know, you could run on the 23rd World Tournament Goku team. Right, 23rd World Tournament Goku does not raise defense on a super attack effect, right? But this essentially is basically giving all characters another 30% defense on their super attack effect. So like if a character has 50% defense on their super attack effect, that becomes 80%, right? The 23rd World Tournament Goku has 0, so he actually, suddenly he has 30% now, right? Things like that, and it is a pretty big difference. That super attack effect, like multiplicative buff, it's pretty huge, I think, for most characters. Getting this extra 30%, you'll see a massive difference there. And Pan, again, she has, again, good Saiyan links overall. Saiyan lineage, All in the Family is a pretty nice link. GT for GT Heroes kind of team. I've seen people run her on GT Heroes just because of this, right? And it's like, as long as you meet the AGL requirements, she can guard. There's some characters that, you know, they can reach defense levels to where they don't need a guard, especially if they raise the defense on their super attack though. So like, even if you're not running the full AGL team requirement, as long, there's like many situations where she's able to take normals because she has this effect. If she gets an additional, that's 60%, by the way, for the next rotation as well, which is crazy insane. And then the thing with her is, if you get this nuking ability and she's able to sit in slot 1, this for 2 turns to all allies is also just really insane. And again, she's on a lot of really good teams. You could really use her on Youth. You could put her on Superhero team if you want. Bottom Parent Child, Earthbred Fighters, GG Heroes even. Like you could use on Super Saiyan 4 Goku's team, and she helps them actually out quite a bit. And I said Youth because of the, what's it called? Actually, yeah, Pan is another one of these units because Youth because of physical almost a GG Goku, physical path Pirate Goku. Now this guy does change a random type of key sphere to Rainbow, so it's possible that he changes her AGL key spheres, but it's like he can still get her a lot of key spheres, right? So I think Pan is actually one of the better ones. I would put her in S. I think Pan is incredible. And what she's doing is something that a lot of units don't end up really doing much, right? And again, the thing is, she has some defensive links in her, like, link skills. She has defense here on her super attack effect. So her defense, I think, gets on closer to the more higher end compared to other characters, right? I feel like Rildo probably, like, gets higher defense than she does, but she's giving it to the whole team, which is like even unconditional, right? You don't need the AGL full team, right? So that's pretty good. And obviously, again, she does get the, I think this is translated wrong because it's a 70%, right? Yeah, so it's 20% attack defense per AGL key sphere, then 50% per any key sphere, right? So keep that in mind. Pan is good. Pan is really good. So next we have INT Gohan, and I mean, we're just gonna put him up here, man. S tier. This guy, I put him in Asia Brexit. S tier. This guy's 100% an S tier character. Now, I mean, it's very obvious why he's an S tier character, but the reason why is this: 50% attack and defense for 9 turns is, I mean, do I have to say how crazy that is? That's crazy. Super attack effect. 50% for 9 turns is really nasty. Before at Easy 8, it was 30%, and it's kind of surprising that they did raise it to 50%, but they did. I mean, this Gohan, getting his, like, additionals, multiple stacks with him, like turn 3, this guy could be like even well over 1 million defense with his guard ability that he gets, right? Obviously they all guard for 4 turns. And then even since it's raising for 9 turns, right? If you float him off when he comes back, he'll still have the stacks from the previous turn. Give him additionals. I mean, and if you take him into a potentially longer event like against Omega, and you get like that full pass near the end, I've seen this guy over 4 million defense at a point, right? I mean, obviously, like, usually most teams can't really stack up, let him stack up to the 9 turns. That was like more of a test, but still. The fact that he was able to like reach that is pretty insane, I think, regardless. And I mean, yeah, again, he has this full heal, again, which is still really good. And the thing about him is that we could also take a look at, think about like the typings in the game right now, to be fair. Like, if we take a look at, I guess, int typings, right? Let's say, I don't know, sort by release date, and then let's go ahead and show int types, right? I mean, in terms of int types that are available, keep in mind, you could have any, it doesn't have to be super class or extreme class necessarily for the characters, right? It could be any types, right? Which is really good. I wish you could show LR and UR together, but that's fine. So, I mean, again, Super Saiyan Trio, even this Vegeta, like, you could potentially see them on certain teams together, right? Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Bottom Parent and Child, Earthbred Fighters with Ma Jr., right? There's like a lot of int characters that are available on a lot of these different teams. So like, again, I can easily see you have setups, Earthbred Fighters, Master Cinnabon's really good, you know. If Goku finally gets a team later on, he could be really good. Bottom Parent and Child, maybe like this guy could like unironically like be crazy. Like you could probably still get away with Vegeta and Trunks in a lot of teams, right? In a lot of like events, you could probably still get away with them. Not every event, but like Omega. Like, imagine a team with Vegeta, Trunks here and Omega, and then you have this Gohan floating around. Like, that could be really insane. This Gohan doesn't have any defensive links, but he has prepared for battle right there, right? Saiyan lineage, right? So, like, you know, he has a little bit of defense links here, but the amount of defense he gets by this is just so disgustingly nasty. He doesn't even need guard. Like, if like once his guard runs out, especially if you get an additional, you're able to get him some good amount of key spheres. He doesn't even need the guard. Like, he's just able to tank. He's like over 1 million defense, right? And it's like he's just gonna keep going, keep getting stronger for basically the entire duration of the event, which is really good. I think really good. So that's why Gohan is at S. And again, he has a lot of good setups, a lot of opportunities for his setups, right? So that's nice. So I guess next we're gonna be talking about this Vegeta. No, this Vegeta does greatly stack attack. Actually, it's not just a normal attack raise, but if we take a look here, you could see it is actually greatly raising attack compared to him normally raising attack. Right here, you see obviously they added, I think it was this one right here. No, it's like these two, I think specifically. He does greatly raise attack now, which, you know, I actually found this Vegeta to be the hardest hitting one of the batch, because he is a character that does have big bad bosses, and I think he's one of the 2 characters that have big bad bosses. Him and this TEQ Cell, they both do have big bad bosses, and this Vegeta again does stack attack. He has a lot of like attack links in here: Saiyan Warrior Race, big bad bosses, Brutal Beatdown, Nightmare, Prodigies. Like, all of these are like really good attack links for villains. These 3 specifically, I think, not really these 3, but like these 3, big bad bosses, Nightmare and Brutal Beatdown. Like, you know, like Turles, I think, has like big bad bosses like Brutal Beatdown, right? Like Nightmare, like Fusion Zamasu has that, right? So I actually found this guy is like probably gonna be the hardest hitting 50% support character. But the thing with him as well is, I think defensively this guy is definitely like not as strong as most of the other 50% support characters. And again, it's nice that this guy is able to put up some decent damage compared to the rest of them. I feel like this guy has been able to consistently hit closer to like 8 to 10 mil attack stats, right, on his average turns compared to some of the other characters like Pan. I feel like a lot of times he hits like 6-7 mil. Gohan, again, probably could still barely hit around like 8 mil attack stats, right, with the attack stacks that he gets in his super attack effect, which is not a lot, but over time with stacking up, it doesn't matter. Like Rildo's like around 8 mil. I feel like in a lot of situations I see him in. It's just averagely, right, outside of their big nuking turn. This Vegeta, on his nuking turn, I was able to get him, again, higher than a lot of other characters. I think I got him to like 25 mil or something like that, right? So obviously his greatly stacking attack can play a hand into that as well. She has a high chance of stun, which I think is, again, nice for like other events like Super Battle or even Battlefield potentially in some situations, right? So it's like this Vegeta actually does have, I feel like, some value to him for sure. And Extreme Int for villains is probably the best type right now. Like villains, Extreme Int is kind of cracked. Like, again, he doesn't even necessarily need like Extreme Int specifically, but I mean Extreme Ints right here. If we take a look by release date here, again, Ruda Garden's here, Black Mask King is here, we have LR Rose, we have Ma Junior, even the Cell could be a decent character, Chi could be a decent character still, right? And then, you know, like that's that. I mean, villains still don't really have that many options. Like right here, this I'm in a Raisin, Toa, right? I mean, there are a couple of good Extreme Int options here, right? And again, if we also consider that you could still use Super Int as well, which I was talking about with Gohan. Honestly, like this Vegeta has a lot of places he could fit in. You could even run him on Pure Saiyans. He is an Extreme Int type support, right? This is Extreme Int type with the 50% support, like the other characters are with their typings, but still, that could work well. I think you could run him on the Turles team. I did use him on the Turles team. Turles is a Pure Saiyans leader, right? You could use him on, I mean, you could even use him on Vegeta family with a Vegeta and Trunks leader. That actually could be interesting because you're able to get a lot of INT key spheres with the Majin Vegeta. Vegeta Trunks could potentially be decent. You have sort of Hope Trunks, right? I mean, Planetary Destruction you could probably use as well, but most important thing is Terrifying Conquerors, which is not here for some reason. But I thought this Vegeta was on Terrifying. Oh no, Vegeta's not on Terrifying Conquerors, but he's on Prodigies, the Prodigies category, which is why he is with Ma Junior. Which I don't think he leads Prodigy. It's called Prodigious Warriors, but I think it's called Gifted Warriors. He's on that team. That's why he's on there. I thought he was on Terrifying Conquerors, but I guess not. Silly me. I thought he was on Terrifying Conquerors, but okay. He's also on the Ma Junior team, obviously, which is a double int leader, so that'll be like, it'll make it more easy for you to get his 3 other allies for int types. So I do think this Vegeta is good overall, and I think I'm gonna put him in A. I feel like, because with these support characters, I think I view them as like what they want to do defensively, and you know what they're like, how strong they are overall. I think defensively really matters to me compared to their offense, because they're support characters. Right, and this Vegeta, it's not like he's doing damage that'll like match up to like what these main characters like Ma Junior are doing, right? I mean, he has a nice setup for him. Would I say he's better than Rildo? I feel like they're kind of even, because I feel like Rildo I like as a character overall, but Rildo doesn't have as good as a sub as Vegeta, which is important. I do want to like think about that. So I guess for now I'll put Vegeta right here. Not that it really matters necessarily ranking them. Like I would also put Gohan above Pan for sure, right? But yeah, that's Vegeta. So we'll talk about next. Who's the next character here? We have the Physical Z-Sword Gohan, and I'm gonna be real with y'all, I don't like this character at all. It's funny because it's like him and Vegeta are like somewhat similar, right? But I think this Gohan, it's like the thing with him on is like he's not bad, but I feel like, I don't know, he's only 200% as Physical Ultimate Gohan, and running him on this team where Physical Ultimate Gohan really wants Ki, you would think it would like actually work out, but it doesn't really, because Physical Ultimate Gohan is shocking speed. This guy's same lineage, like unlike Vegeta, Rildo, Pan, or Gohan, I feel like this guy, his linking partners are really bad. Like Version C Goku, Chila is a linking partner, this free-to-play superhero Gohan, AGL World Tournament Vegito, Tarbo, like, and freaking Tech, Extreme Tech Golden Frieza. In future, Gohan could be like a good linking partner, but he's not even about a master disciple, right? So he's not even supporting him. Pan, like if you have him on a team with Pan, but then you have to really worry about like the type restrictions potentially, right? I don't know. 23rd World Tournament Goku, he does share 2 links with All in the Family and Saiyan Lineage, which actually is useful, right? I think those 2 links could be really good for him. I think there's situations where this guy could look good, but I feel like unlike Vegeta, I think this guy's like really good links, Brainiacs, Cold Judgment. You can't really activate a lot of them at once. And I feel like defensively, I don't know, maybe it's just my experience without the orbs played out, but defensively I feel like Vegeta was also stronger. More so of the time. And then Gohan, I just had so many struggles with him, like in terms of like the physical keys were changing. I think I did get unlucky with Gohan, so I do want to consider that. I definitely did get unlucky with what his performance is actually able to be. I'm going to still think I'm gonna put him in B though, because I like on paper I feel like he seems like relatively similar to Vegeta, but just my experience with him, I just feel like he's not. He's just kind of weird to use. I think it's really his linking partners. Like maybe this guy's, again, obviously as a floater unit could be decent, but once that guard runs out, I feel like that guard runs out, this guy's kind of just stuck there. I feel like very consistently I had this guy run like 400k to 500k defense. And then like the thing with Vegeta is that he's on a team that's like a lot faster, I think, compared to the teams that Gohan are on, right? Like Vegeta buffing my junior like that is kind of crazy. Well, I was like, I guess this Gohan could buff like Sword of Hope Trunks, right? Which is he's a really good physical damage dealer. I'm trying to think of like what other physical character is there for this guy to really buff that's like super physical and doing really good damage. God Goku, right? Buu Saga. You could run him on the Buu Saga with the Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I could see a situation where this Gohan's creating a lot of orbs for the team, and then like their nuking ability is able to go up, right? Then I'm gonna click on them, but like, who else? I mean, yeah, I guess Ultimate Gohan again. I tried to use him with him, but it was like really, really wonky. It ended up being really wonky. So like running 2 Ultimate Gohans, or it's just kind of weird. I feel like, right? So it's like you run like God Goku's team, and this guy could potentially look pretty decent though. I think I'm gonna put him here. I just feel like he doesn't offer like at least Vegeta's like way stronger offensive than most of these other 50% characters. I think this Gohan doesn't have the defense, but what else is he really offering? Offensively, he's way worse than Vegeta because he doesn't have any attack links, right? So that's another thing. But yeah, that's just my experiences with the Gohan. You could probably argue him with A, but I'm gonna put him at B. Super Buu overall. So in terms of Super Buu, where would I put this guy? Because he's very. The thing with Super Buu is he has a okay place, but like, where are you really using him? I think again, his issue again, like kind of like Gohan, is linking partners are kind of rough right now. I feel like linking partners are just like, TEQ Exchange who's not there. Janemba wants to run a crossover, and all these Boos pretty much just suck. STR Super Buu has the same name as him until turn 5. Like, who here is good? Like, TEQ Cell is like a good option, I think, overall. I mean, like Rose, I guess, right? Is this guy even on Rose's team? He is on Rose's team. So like, you could throw him on like a Heroes team, right? Like a Dragon Ball Heroes team. But like, let's say it's like double Rose. You throw this guy there. He's with the Janemba. You have Robel. You could throw on there. I guess would it have to be like a hybrid? Like you have AGL Vegeta plus this guy, and then you have like, you would have to like run him on rotation with that Janemba, I guess. I don't know. Like there's a somewhat kind of place there for him, right? Transformation boost isn't the Evil 21 on there. Maybe we're like 21s on there, right? you could run him on the 21 team, kind of. But it's like he's kind of weird on there with all the like. We just need a new Buu. A new Majin Buu would be really, really good for this guy. And that's why I feel like if he is able to get a team, I actually would put him in the A tier. But I think for now, I'm going to have to put him in B tier. He's good enough to be in A tier, 100%. I think that he recovers so much HP. He has the defense raise, like, you know, he has a good Majin Link set, right? But realistically, I just don't see a really good setup for him to get his links and work too well. Again, like the Android team is really like the only setup I'm thinking of for this guy, and it's like, you know, running him on Android is kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, let me double check just to be sure here. Like, let's take a look here at physical, and then just like, I guess, really stay easy A, like, I don't know, like, yeah, I mean, especially like extreme physical teams, like you're gonna run him on boost. Like these guys don't even lead Buu Saga, right? So I don't know. I had to put Buu here at B tier. Cabba, really good, really powerful, really insane character. I mean, he's the same as Gohan almost. 9 turn, 50% attack and defense raise is crazy. It's just so really stupid what this Cabba and that Gohan are able to do because of that 50% defense for 9 turns. Cabba, again, there's a lot of teams that he's good on. I feel like, you know, again, let's say Bastard and Sudam Bond, he could be ran in the Super Saiyan team really well. Pure Saiyans obviously is a good team. Universe 6, there is a setup for you to actually run this guy in Universe 6, which, you know, outside of Fusions of Masu, I think Universe 6 does has a little bit of sauce to it, low key. You know, you have KO right here, which is really nice. You know, you have the hits and the Cabba. We'll talk about the hit in a second. Obviously, you know, you have the Boda Magetta. You could probably even, again, LRK and Caulifla, like, as long as they're able to get, like, I don't know, let's say 2-3 stacks in, they're able to start looking pretty nice when building that dodge up as well. It's almost there. I mean, you could throw in, again, some transformation boost characters in here. Kel does lead transformation boost. It's like, I don't know, if you're in a fight without AoEs, you can throw on the blue fusions of the team, like STR Blue Gogeta, and then you have Cabba supporting him, right? You can do stuff like that, right? So I think Cabba has a lot of utility. He has just a good generic Saiyan Link set, Super Saiyan, Prepared Battle, Saiyan Lineage, right? Those are good Saiyan Links right here. I wish these guys had Fierce Battle, but I obviously they don't. And again, after the guard runs out, he's able to still really sustain himself quite well because of the fact that he does have the 50% attack and defense raise for 9 turns. I mean, he's able to get crazy high defenses. Super STR support, I mean, do I have to say Super STR is like a good like typing as well? And just in general, STR is a good typing, but like Super Saiyan 3 Goku right here, Gohan and Piccolo, Bottom Master and Disciple team, we can work really well. You have STR Future Gohan, who does end up also creating STR Key Spheres, STR, we almost just got STR Bulma, STR Gogeta Blue ZZA, GT Goku and Vegeta, right? I mean, even this like STR Carnival Goku is like decent in Omega Shenron, right? There are definitely some pretty good STR characters and maybe some I'm glossing over as well, but when this Cabba is just he's cracked, you know. I would say he's definitely cracked. Very good. Let me close Buu for now, but yeah. Hits, I'm actually going to say hits. Let's see, I don't want to put hit in S tier. I feel like the thing with hit is he again is almost there. I think Universe Survival Saga, if we get a lot of those like buffs next like month, this is gonna go crazy. But hit is lacking in partners, I think. Again, like what team could you run him on, like as well? Like again, the thing with hit is that he also is not really like outside of Universe 6, he's good in Universe 6 actually, funny enough, but like what team would you run him on really? Like target Goku, Space Traveling Warriors is not really there. I mean, you could definitely make a build for him, but like Extreme STR Space Traveling Warriors is not there either, and he doesn't really link well with those characters like at all. And it's like he's honestly like LR Goku and Hit get an easy A anytime soon, and then like, you know, tournament participants becomes like a good team. Like I could see it for sure, because again, he only needs specifically STR units for his passive He doesn't need extreme STR units for his guard, right, which could be useful for the first 4 turns. He is permanently 50% stacking his defense, so high chance of stun, right, which is again decent, right? So I feel like there are situations where this hit could look really, really good, but he's not really, he doesn't have the perfect setup for him, I think is the thing I'm trying to say. Not that he doesn't have a setup for him, but the perfect setup that he would want, he doesn't necessarily have the options for right now. So I think I am going to put him at A, even though he's S tier material. I think A tier. I do think he's better than Vegeta and Rildo overall, but he's like kind of held back. Like at least these guys do have their teams, but they're not as good, if that makes sense, right? Like the performance in game, but because they have, I think, better setups than this hit does right now, it kind of like evens them out to be on the same general realm. Again, these aren't necessarily like ranked in any order specifically either. Keep that in mind in the tiers itself. They're just like tiers, right? Okay, so the next one is TEQ Easy A Cell. This cell is, I think, overall good. He actually does have a home as well, which is really nice. Again, I was talking about all these characters, but again, to keep in mind, you need 3 other tech type allies on the team, 2 other extreme class allies on the team to get the full passive, right? At least, you know, for Cabba, it'd be like super class, but you guys get the point. Like the type and the class, you need like multiple allies on the team besides this character for them to really match up. And the good thing about this guy is that he's actually on TEQ Fusion Zamasu's 200% leader skill, right? So you run him, TEQ Fusion Zamasu, and then you have the 2 TEQ Fusion Zamasu's, obviously the leader and the friend, and then you could run TEQ Goku Black, right, as an example, and then, you know, you're able to get a pretty good, solid, like, you know, situation for this TEQ cell, I think, which is really, really nice. He has big bad bosses, greatly raise attack and defense, oh no, just greatly raise defense for the turn, right, which is, again, very helpful. I mean, I've seen this guy, you can get like 600k, 700k defense start of turn with the orbs, because again, he has like these defensive links that can get bad bosses, even like, you know, Nightmare is a good like offensive link that he can get brutal beatdown, another good villain ink, right? But then because this 25% defense, like it's able to really boost his defense up, and then he gets 50% after that, and then is like, oh, nearing like 1 million defense or over 1 million defense, right? Which is pretty nice to see. In terms of really strong link partners, not the greatest, but, you know, like, again, some villains he could work pretty decently with overall, and like at least with Fusion Zamasu, he does share like 2 links, I guess. Big Bad Boss is Nightmare, which for villains I think is like, I'll take what I can get, right? Compared to something like, again, like Gohan, who's like a hybrid Saiyan character, right? I'll take what I can get in most scenarios. And again, if we go back here and look at TEQ just specifically, right, we could just see like there are some pretty good TEQ characters overall, and especially, you know, even specifically Extreme TEQ. I think Extreme TEQ low-key is like one of the better typings for Extreme Class right now, which is really funny. Again, you have the Cell, you have Fusion Zamasu, LR Goku Black and Zamasu, right? And then actually that's really it, so maybe I'm just capping. I mean, the androids, you can still use them in a lot of different situations. I feel like this guy will get his easy most likely this year. The Exchange Buu, this TEQ Janemba is like an okay option still, right? I mean, villains in general are just very sad, but at least, you know, I think there's some decent options here. You know, even this Vegeta Nappa, or like, you know, you could get him to work, I think. So I don't know, I like this up because he has a situation he could be used in really well. He is on a lot of teams as well that can potentially get decent setups in the future. Artificial life forms, power absorption, target Goku, even sworn enemies, right? Like sworn enemies in the future could be really interesting, but we'll just have to wait and see how that does turn out. For now, I'm actually going to put this out still in A tier. I don't think he's definitely a S tier character or a B tier character, but I think A tier works pretty well for him. Tien. I don't like Tien at all, honestly. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I feel like the thing with Tien is that he has a place, but he just kind of feels like the worst one to me, because he has these, just his links are just so bad. Honestly, his links are really bad. The setups you're gonna use them on, like, you know, let's say he's 200%. Super Trunks' team, Yamcha's team, Dragon Ball Z Duels. You're not running him on this team. These two teams could be interesting. Like, you know, like for 200% specifically, Super Trunks sucks. So, I mean, the thing with him is that he can actually synergize with Super Trunks a little. Because he's changing all these tech orbs, right? So he's healing a lot. I think when you're able to get him the tech orbs, right, he's able to heal, well, I want to say a lot. I've seen this guy like 400 to 500k defense, and then that's it. Because Cold Judgment is like not a link you're going to really get with this character either, I feel like, in a lot of situations. Like on the Super Trunks team, if you're thinking about it like that, like you're not really getting Cold Judgments. So that's the thing with this, like Tien specifically, like none of his partners really, again, have Cold Judgment unless you're running like a bad character, honestly. A large Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he could help out pretty well. But then this guy, like, you know, you want to stack up his attack. So if you have Tien on rotation with him, and you want to sit this guy's 18 ki, and then you get in a situation where it's like, because of Tien, this guy has too much ki, and then he has to get his 18 ki before you want to. Like, that can happen. Because he shares Overnight Flash, and then Shattering Limit with him, which is really funny. I mean, like, there are setups like 23rd Tournament Goku's team that you could use him on, right? I think that could work pretty well. Even on Yamcha's team, right? Earthbred Fighters definitely is like his best team right here. But so many of these characters are also on Earthbred Fighters, right? Like the 50% supports, right? But in terms of Tien, you could definitely make a setup for him on here, and I think he could look nice. He at least has like the pocket heal right here. Again, all these characters, when they get all 23 key spheres that they change into the field, like all of them could full heal you pretty easily. This guy goes up to like 1.3 mil defense. I mean, they should have given them defense raise in the turn 2, and then he would actually be like, I mean, would he be an S tier if they got that? He could be. It's like that defense raise, I'm telling you, is such a massive game. If you had like 50% defense here, like that 400k defense he's at would shoot up to like 600k. And with guard, that actually does make a difference quite a bit. Or if he's like able to get even like to 500, 600k defense out of turn with the amount of orbs he can grab, and then you super attack, and then it's like, oh, I'm like at 800k defense now, right? You know, that matters quite a bit, I think. And he doesn't, compared to the other characters. I think most of the characters have a defense raise, like except for it's these two, and then this guy. I'm gonna put him in B, but I think he's, I don't know, it's between him and Gohan, I think, are the worst ones, but they're still all good. Keep that in mind. They're all good. This is just ranking them among each other. I think they're all still good. They all still have pretty good value, and I think they did a good job with all the EZs in terms of the designs. But I do think that some are clearly better than others. But let me know what you guys think. Where you would rank these guys. Again, the tiers themselves aren't ordered. It's just like these guys, I would say, are better than these guys, and then these guys are better than these guys. Like, in terms of where they are in the game or nothing overall. But yeah, this is my list. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.